Hello everyone, this is DD1 here, and today we're going to be doing a new development story for a Jimmy item. Well, really multiple Jimmy items, but it's about a specific character that was really underused in my opinion. And you'll see that there were a lot of plans with this specific character. As you saw from the thumbnail, you saw a name and you saw a little preview of what you're going to be seeing here when it comes to art, etc. Now, this character's name was Hush, and you would only recognize Hush from one of two items that were released. There was the Creepy Crawler's Girl with the Stitched Mouth sold at Spirit Halloween, and there was a 2008 posable life-size character that just made sound and the eyes lit up and ran off of batteries. Those are the only times you ever saw Hush, as she's actually named, which is fitting given that her mouth is stitched up. But in this video, you're going to be seeing the origins of her and just all the different items that they actually tried. So let's go ahead and get started here with the art. So I'm going to start off with a really crazy photo here. This is just a person. That's right. This is just a pic, and this took research to find. So this is just a picture of a girl, and she's kind of, edgy looking, and she has on this striped shirt. She has a very pale complexion, dark circles under her eyes, and jet black hair, kind of grayish lips. And this is actually the base that became Hush. And I would have never guessed that. But here she is. So this is a real living walking person. So just like the Beller was live casted off of somebody and a couple other items, this wasn't a live cast, but the girl that was the inspiration for Hush quite literally is a living, breathing person. So now I don't know who this person is. When I did find the image, it was with an article, it was some kind of like stock image, and I did not see a name associated with it. So I'm pretty sure there's a chance that this girl has no idea that she became a Halloween prop that many, many people collect. But going on from there, we'll see the art. So as you can see here, it is actually the same picture of the same girl, except it was heavily, heavily photoshopped and drawn upon. So as you can see, she's a lot more familiar looking now. She's not exactly the same, but there's a lot of similarities here, and the lips are very freaky in this art. And what's crazy is this art was also outsourced by Jimmy, at least to my knowledge, because in my files I had this smaller copy that has the name Hush written out on it, and it's very pixely and grainy, but through some research online I found this copy, although I have no actual context for it. It was the thumbnail of a fan upload video of one of their favorite songs, or maybe a song they composed or something, and there was just zero context for the image, and therefore I don't know the origins of it. Maybe it was made in-house and got leaked out back in the day. Maybe the person that made the music video had ties. I don't know, but I did find this outside of my little archive here, and this was based on this girl who is just a girl that was photographed for a stock image. And yeah, so that is the art for Hush, and I bet you weren't expecting that at all. And it is indeed pretty crazy stuff, guys. I was not expecting that. So there were several items made. You had two designs of Creepy Crawler. You had some tabletop items. We have the Sculpt itself, which I'm going to go to next. And then we had the standing characters. And there is a big surprise in there. So let's start off with the Sculpt. And it is indeed labeled Hush. So you can see in this picture of the Sculpt that it's like, hey, it needs to look a little better. Just typical, lines, revisions to send back to the factory, like, make the nose this shape and make the jaw look like that and make her mouth look more stitched up. Stuff like that. And this is a pretty good quality copy of the image right here, as you can see. And then here's just an unedited one. You can see she has a very interesting expression on her face. She almost looks kind of smug. And her lips don't really look stitched together. It just looks like her lips are teeth, which in itself is quite disturbing. Here's another photo with another revision noted. It's like, hey, you need to have those lines in there. I'm actually not sure if those are digitally imposed or if that was done. It looks digital to me. And it likely is. Actually, no, I'm mistaken. That is some dedication to the craft. That is actual stitching, it looks like, or twine or something that has been imposed in the clay. So that's really going to give it that realistic look with the stitching. So you caught me in a blunder there. But those are the sculpts for Hush. And then we'll go to crawling design number 1. We'll start off with a studio photo that is not photoshopped yet. So all the stock photos looked like this to some degree before they were photoshopped. And you're like, well, that doesn't even matter because this is a picture I haven't seen before, and that's really valid. But as you can see here, she has the purple costume, which you might have seen before from a QVC stock photo when they were carrying Spirit stock in 2009. And as you can see, it's the same head as what we ultimately got, maybe a little bit different, much paler complexion. She has dark black hair, unlike what the produced model got, and it looks like a better quality wig as well. You can see there's still the button on the hand, and there's a chained weight ball on her leg around her ankle, which is a really neat concept and was actually used on another character as well that I have not discussed yet, and that could be in a future video. Now the next picture here is just a very early factory photo. She has the life-size Dawn of the Dead hands, but is still looking not quite like in this photo here. And a lot of people have called this character Dawn of the Dead. I believe I even have in my past, but it is actually a completely different character, not related to Donna at all. Here's just another shot of a pretty early one. There's a back view. You can see that this is far from production standard. This is just a really cursed, creepy, low-res photo. It is a different item number than the other pictures I've been showing you, and it just looks really disturbing. Like, the eyes look like they're just gray sockets. The gore on the head almost looks like it could be some kind of mouth or eyeballs, and I can't really make out what the mouth looks like at the bottom there. And all in all, the proportions and everything are just really disturbing, and this is literally all I know about this one. And by the way, something I should have mentioned earlier, the purple one with the purple costume was originally for Party City, and then when Spirit adopted it, they ultimately went with the different look. And here's another revision one. It says, add a butt with padding and make the dress and the legs this much longer. So it was all about the proportions. It's just like, hey, everyone's built different in life, but we wanted to make it look a little more, I guess, believable. And then here's the photo that you might have seen through QVC over the years, but a much larger copy. And there's a lot of nice paint detail on the clothes. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into design 2, which is the one that we are ultimately familiar with. Here's the artwork for her. It's interesting that they actually drew something up completely, considering that there was already a studio taken photo of the purple one, and then there is another character that you might or might not recognize over there. And unfortunately, this is the only copy I have of the art. It's very grainy and low res. But here is an incredible photo. This is a raw studio photo in the fullest quality that ultimately was turned into the photo on the box, the stock photo. And if I zoom in here, you'll see this is a very large quality photo. You can see all the little details. You can see that her hair originally had brown and gray streaks in it. You can see there's a lot more paint on the clothing. There was different paint on the hands. You can see the button right there. Just all in all, a very detailed piece. And then here's the stock photo, which you can see, and you might have noticed this, the hair is photoshopped on the left and right sides to make it look more full and less diverse in color, since the released one just had a kind of singular color. And this is the photo that was on the Spirit website. This one is obviously much, much later in development, and it is basically what we got in production. And of course, before the video ends, I have a few other things to show, starting off with some tabletop pieces, which I think are actually sick. We have a head dropper, which just looks really creepy. I mean, this is super disturbing. And then we have a window leecher as well, which is also really disturbing. So this would have been really creepy to put in your window around Halloween and to hang this in your tree or something else. I mean, just very creepy items. And it was standing. The factory video for this, I believe, is on the Jimmy Archive YouTube channel if you want to check it out so that you don't watch it through my camera. And this is just a picture of the same one, same room, same place, same time. It might be a different sample slightly, but it is in the same spot. And then here's a raw, unedited version of the stock photo taken in the studio. And the picture that we would have ultimately seen on the internet was this copy where the dress is slightly photoshopped in color a little bit, and the base was cropped. I actually fixed it down there. And then here is a photo from a Russian website of basically what a stock one looked like. It is not set up in the best way for sure, but I mean, it basically is what the released model looked like. I know a couple collectors have this piece, but it is pretty hard to find. And last but certainly not least, out of all the things to show to you today, this is a life-size Hush Dawn of the Dead combo, essentially. This was done exclusively for Spirit Halloween, and it was ultimately replaced with, like, the Cauldron Witch or something like that. And in my opinion, it's a very creepy, cool piece. It would have swayed the same as Dawn of the Dead. And that's about all the info I have for it. But it's just really cool, and it would be cool if one did show up someday. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is everything I have to show you for Hush. I think she's a really unique and cool character. Perhaps one day we will find out the origins of the artwork and the girl who is in the stock image. I just think that's, again, really crazy stuff. And it's a shame that some of these other designs didn't get made. I do really like, however, the creepy crawler girl that Spirit carried. I think it's a very creepy piece. Obviously, the prototype looks a bit better, but I'm still happy with how it turned out. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.